And I want to talk a minute about energy, the economy, and the strength of our country. Let's talk about energy to begin with. Where have the Democrats been? Nancy Pelosi sends Congress home. Sends Congress home with gasoline prices over $4. Double what they were when the Pelosi premium started when she was elected Speaker. Double what they were. I was so proud of our members of Congress who stayed in Washington day after day, who stayed on the well of the House and talked about the need to lower energy prices in this country. They understand it's not just getting to work. They understand that energy prices means that it costs more to get your milk there, your bread. Everything is tied to energy in this country. They understand that. And John McCain understands that. He's for an all-of-the-above energy policy. He understands that we have to have more drilling offshore in this country. He understands we have to have more nuclear power in this country. That we have to have clean coal technology, which will benefit Illinois. That we have to have more wind and solar power. And that we've got to have electric cars. And he's offered a bounty for the best electric car. And what's Obama done? He's been Dr. No. No for offshore drilling. No for more nuclear power. No for coal. He introduced a bill with Jim Bunning from Kentucky and then voted against his own bill for coal. That's what Barack Obama does. Barack Obama is Dr. No. He doesn't understand the energy needs of this country, nor does he understand the financial condition of this country. I'm old enough to have lived through some downturns and some financial crisis, and we're in the midst of one right now. We've got to restore confidence in this country. We had some people on Wall Street who were taking advantage of those of us on Main Street. They were taking advantage by creating these new financial instruments, derivatives and tranches of mortgages, and getting people into home loans that really couldn't afford the home loans because they benefited from it. John McCain understands that intuitively. He saw what was happening to our markets last week and he said, wait a minute, we've got to restore stability to our markets. Then we've got to change this patchwork of regulation that we have in this country. You can't explain how the financial institutions are regulated because they're all regulated differently in this country. Then he said, we've got to do something about the SEC. The SEC has been allowing people to do naked short selling. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I believe it means that you don't own a stock and you speculate in it, and then you try to convince people that it's going to go down so you can make money. How does that benefit the country? How did it benefit the country when the SEC changed the capital requirements so that you could have a 40-to-1 leverage ratio? Well, it didn't. And John McCain stood up last week and said, we've got to stop that. And he said, we've got to do something about Freddie and Fannie. Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, the two institutions that own over half the mortgages in this country. It's interesting for me to note that Barack Obama still hasn't come out with a plan. Could it be because he's received $126,000 from Fannie and Freddie in the last 2 years? Could it be? Could it be because Jim Johnson, who headed up his campaign to pick his vice presidential candidate, was the CEO of Fannie and was fired for accounting irregularities during his term there? Could it be he is so connected to the problems that he can't help us with the solution? John McCain is a maverick. John McCain understands the problems of this country, and he's putting forward solutions that work. Energy, economics, taxes. You know, Barack Obama has never met a tax he didn't love. Think about it. He wants to raise your capital gains tax, your Social Security tax, all your taxes. Why? Because he's proposed $1 trillion worth of new spending. And where does that money come from? Well, it comes from you. He walks that walk. He's asked for $1 billion in earmarks since he's been there, $1 million a day. These things add up. These are going to be things that my granddaughter will have to pay in years to come. Barack Obama doesn't understand the fundamentals of the economy of this country. And then finally, and more importantly, is national defense. The purpose of government is to keep us safe. The purpose of government is to keep us safe. Barack Obama does not understand that. He didn't understand it when Russia attacked Georgia. He didn't understand it when he said he would unilaterally meet with leaders of the world who were sworn enemies of the United States. He didn't understand it when he went to Iraq and said that the surge was not working and then later said that it was. He does not have a fundamental understanding of what keeps us safe and what keeps us great. Finally, the fourth element after the issues is the organization. And that's what we're here for tonight. I applaud you for that. That's why I'm so happy to be here tonight. It's you making the phone calls. It's you knocking on the doors. It's you giving of your time and your resources. Because we have to stand up and fight. We have to fight for this country. We have to help John McCain and Sarah Palin. It's so important. It's important for you. It's important for your children. It's important for your grandchildren. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Duncan.